didn't seem like this thing, man. You gotta show them real.
I mean, but we have to have more than 1,000 followers to go live. But welcome to those that are tuning in right now. We're getting settled in. If you're watching this live, you see me probably with the Eagles gear on today. I'm representing still. Boy, strong, even though my heart is heavy.
Yeah, I got a sport. I got mine too. I'm still representing. I'm gonna jump off the bandwagon, you know. I'm representing something a little more closer to home.
Real fan. I'm a real fan.
I'm a real fan too.
I'm not saying you're not. You know, I'm just saying.
It's funny because I had to like cut people off, man. Because some of the things that Philadelphia fans, people are supposed to be so intelligent.
Fickle.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was interesting, man. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But welcome to another episode of Above Average Black Men. Yours truly, Chris
Jr. As always, here to hopefully empower, inspire, and uplift the community. As always, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share. We definitely need more of that. Interact with us tonight. I know typically on AABM, shout out to y'all. People jump in on there and they dropping comments and jumping into the conversation. Same thing on Facebook. So keep it going. You know, we'll try our best to read and stay on top of things. I mean, sometimes we see it on YouTube. I can't forget that. But yeah.
Well, when we come back, it's gonna be different. That's why I said when we come back in the new year, the studio is gonna be different. And I'm starting to figure out the technology. So we'll be able to make sure we have some more interaction on different things.
Yeah. We need the phone number out there so people can call in.
Yeah.
I know that's a thing.
Like, we actually, that's the line.
People be asking, requesting. I've seen that before. Like, how can I call in? I think that'll really kind of take things to the next level because I know people want to be part of the conversation.
So I got my email.
And we welcome you. We welcome. Woo! So tonight we are getting in the Christmas spirit, holiday spirit. You know, Thanksgiving is over. Yeah. Some people already started getting ready. I know my sister had her tree up before Thanksgiving. Apparently, that's a thing. People, I don't know when Christmas got. It's always been big, but like I don't know. Maybe it's way more adults into it than ever before.
Now it's really more commercial because Christmas, man, Halloween. When you go in the store Halloween, you see the decorations going up. It used to be they waited till at least after Thanksgiving. So it is, but Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and it's funny because it's also a time of year with mixed emotions. Like on the schoolyard last night. That so place. We were talking about it last night, man. It was a lot of funny memories. It's funny how certain people bring out certain memories. So it was a lot of funny memories, man. But just thinking about growing up Christmas versus Christmas now, it kind of been on my mind the last couple of weeks because you talk to people. But it's funny how the wide experiences of Christmas.
Yeah, everybody has a different experience. I don't think that people have that type of perspective when it comes to the holiday, But to your point, it has gotten certainly way more commercialized, way more about the gifts and Santa Claus than anything else. And I mean, I do think it is a little bit more where you see adults probably freaking out or geeking out over Christmas more than they've ever had before in the past. Like, it used to be a children's holiday. Same thing probably you mentioned with Halloween, but then now it's like Christmas has evolved into this whole nother realm of what the season's about. It really has. And I mean, I don't know. I see it. One, like I said, you said it too. People celebrating earlier. Thanksgiving. We haven't even cut the turkey yet, and we already talking about Santa Claus. And then I think we also kind of created little holidays around it. Like now, people all into the 12 days of Christmas. I see the Elf on the Shelf thing, which is I guess that's always been a thing, but now it's blowing up, and everybody's doing it, and it's not even about, again, the kids aspect of it anymore. It's a lot more, I feel like, adults kind of driving some of their childish behaviors. It is. What, Elf on the Shelf or just like being too much into Christmas?
I don't want Elf on my Shelf.
I don't understand.
I'm just saying, I don't want Elf on my Shelf.
I don't understand. Maybe I'm old. I'm getting old if I'm sitting here talking about Elf on the Shelf, but
Christmas has also changed because I mean, for me, I think about it, and I guess we might as well start here. If I think about the memories of Christmas, I have them in stages. I think as a kid, growing up in North Philly, man, you never know what to expect for Christmas because you're not poor, you're not rich, and your parents are programmed to tell you you're not getting anything. We're not getting, we can't do this, we can't do it, so you don't know. And I remember my dad would go all out. We had a 3-story house. He believed in a lot of trees. And one year we had an artificial tree. We'll get into that because I'm still upset about that. But anyway, he had a lot of trees. But he had 3-story house. And he would open up the skylight. Because believe Santa Claus. He would do it. So as a kid, you don't think he gonna come down the skylight, walk down 3 stairs, 3 flights of stairs, and put it on again, and then go all the way back up. But I mean, my dad and mom always made Christmas a big thing for us. They did, and I remember being in college. I was playing in a tournament in New Jersey, and one of my brothers in the Marine Reserve and one's the Air Force Reserve. And I remember, we all made it home for Christmas. It was just that big a deal, man. And we just, as a family, we were always together.
I mean, but I think that speaks to how we grew up. I think Christmas is really about family. Yeah. Like, I do recall our Christmas of the lower tier gifts.
Yeah, I know you're going to. I told somebody. I said that last night on the show.
A basket full of dollars for trinkets. I don't even want to call them toys. They were toys. Like, it was a race car, like a go-kart thing that you use, but it was stuck to or attached to the actual car. Like, you couldn't even, you had to chase it. You had to chase it. So it's like,
that's when you got your moves in basketball, man. You had to stay behind that car and just, not let the car get too tight.
It was like a little fitness test. Like,
but see, you got in basketball, you're gonna operate in those tight spaces.
But no, it was funny. But like, I enjoyed that. I thought it was funny. Yeah. And but again, ultimately, I think the lesson was being grateful. I think we've always been kind of taught or instilled that. But I think, like we mentioned, Christmas is changing. It's not about that. It's anymore about the giving aspect. It's about what you're giving.
But I think for me, it'll always be that because I think about my grandma. We were fortunate enough to have my grandmother live with us when we were growing up, and she was probably one of the most. I'm not saying probably she was one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. We spent a lot of time together growing up. We talked about sports. She was a huge Phillies fan. One was an Eagles fan. And we spent a lot of time talking about sports. We spent a lot of time together. I know Christmas. I never figured out how she did it, but she always got like the biggest gifts for us. Like one year she got some pinballs.
A pinball.
Yeah, nice. It wasn't big as one arcade. It was about the size of this table. Yeah, it's like she would find a way to do this, and then
that's a great gift.
Yeah, because but you know what? She just cared so much about family, and it was funny because sometimes on the outside it appears she's a little rough and rough. But I would spend a lot of time with her, literally at her feet, and she really taught us, especially me, about the value of family. About that was the most important thing at Christmas time because, it was huge. They would bake rum cakes and real rum, and they would take the cakes and they would make them and they would wrap them in cheesecloth and put them in these cans and seal them up from Thanksgiving to Christmas. So when we opened them at Christmas time, they weren't PG cakes, so kids couldn't eat them. I mean, they were rum cakes, man. You open them, the rum would knock you out. She would make fruit cake from scratch. I mean, it's all from scratch, man. And like I'm actually gonna try Crescents this year. We're gonna try Crescents this year.
I was gonna mention that. That's what Christmas is.
Yeah, I just remember them making it from scratch. And I remember her and my mom being in the kitchen, man, and just this was holiday time for us. We knew when Thanksgiving came, bacon was gonna start. And it was they would just bake Crescents after Crescent after Crescent. So So by the time Christmas, we had all these tin cans full of Crescents, man, and they would put them in these gold cans and seal them, and they would be fresh. You open up at Christmas time, man, and they would still be fresh, So I don't know if they make those cans anymore, but that was Christmas to me, man, and just always being around family. And then even when I had my own family, I still put lights outside the house because that was a tradition my dad did. My dad, we had lights every year. He would get out there, but he'd be on a ladder, put them up on it.
I'm like, outside the house?
Yeah, he did it. That was tradition for us, man. And we would get together and decorate the trees of family. That was tradition for us.
Yeah, I did. And like I said, I think the crescent cookies, I was always a fan of that. Grandma, like that's a core memory for me. Like being able to have those around that time of year. Like Nicole and I was talking about that the other day too, or not too long ago. The idea of like we all want to make those, and like kind of continue or pass on that tradition or that feeling of just kind of having something for our family. But I think one thing that you kind of really instilled in us that ultimately kind of led us down that path of being grateful uh, was giving back. Like giving was ultimately, I feel like it felt better than receiving at times, you know? Like feeling like I think that's something around Christmas that I generally get a kick out of is being able to feel like, I did something that either brought you some type of joy or was able to assist you at your point or whatever point you are in your life. I know we got Toy Store, which is coming up. Like I enjoy helping or kind of assisting in that. Just being able to give back to people who may not necessarily, in some cases, have the best stuff or most things that I have. I love doing that. And again, like even for family, I just love being able to, like, birthdays or holidays. Like I've done this before in the past. Like get you guys tickets to go somewhere. Like doing things is like to ultimately show, like, I appreciate and love you guys. I think that's what ultimately Christmas means to me. Being able to show appreciation for the people in my life.
It is interesting because when I think about Christmas, your mom and I were talking about this the other day. You get to a point where we've been giving gifts to each other for literally 40 years. Mm-hmm. And if you talk about Christmas and birthdays, and you talk about Mother's Day and Father's Day, anniversaries, it's Valentine's Day. It's been
you try to up it like all the time.
No, but you get to a point where you realize that, for me, and I can't say this for everybody else, I know you can agree that as much as you enjoy giving the gifts, it's about family. Yeah, I think about it. I think about us. To me, like the best times when we get together. Like I almost brag about the fact that so far every other year we go as a family. Yeah. People don't get to do that with their grown kids. And to me that's Christmas. It's like, when you're with your family, man, and you kind of just chilling, man, and you just
creating core memories.
But you enjoy each other's company. Mm-hmm. I'm proud to say, to me, that's one of the best gifts I have. And it's funny because we talk about it in the school. Some of the dudes I've known since kindergarten, something in fourth grade. It's rare that you know people that long in your life. Mm-hmm. It's rare that you kind of, and I've seen you do it. It's rare that you link up with people who are not biologically your brothers, but they're your brothers. Yeah. And Christmas reminds me of all that, man. It kind of overrides all the crazinesses in the world. Now the downside about it is I miss my mom. I miss my mom and dad, my grandma so much at Christmas time, man. Because it was, even when we moved out, I always saw them. It was never a Christmas that I did not see them. And I think that's one of the things that I miss. Not seeing them, not getting that phone call. My mom calling me in the morning. Hey, my dad in the background. So it kind of makes it a little sad. What did I do? I think the greatest gift that I had is family. Mm-hmm. You, Nicole, Devin, Lois, just family, man. And now Mackenzie's in the fold. So we have another generation, man. So I look at Christmas now, and you sit and you look at 3 generations.
Family's slowly but surely growing. Yeah. And everybody's getting older.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, man. It's a little harder in this day and age to keep traditions now. Yeah. Like this was the first year that, Devin was the last one who would come and decorate the tree every year. Mm-hmm. He wasn't interested this year. You know why.
But you know what I was going to say? Like, the idea of us even creating core memories. We all getting older and probably forging and doing our own things a little bit. But I do like it is a time that we still can come back together. And like even like the past couple of years, we're all in a place like, man, we could take a trip now.
It's called girlfriends.
No, but anyway. Fiance. But what I'm saying, but we can take a trip, you know what I mean? We about to go to Orlando for Christmas. Like
we are, and it's amazing to me. And people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, and then I say, well, this is not the first time.
And that too.
It's the Asian brother that I work with, and it's
core memories.
It's the Asian guy that I work with, and we had great conversations. It's amazing because I think he's a little taken back too, because in the Asian community, that's what they do with family. Mm-hmm. So now he sees his black family, and we always had these discussions about. And he's cool. It's not like he like crazy or he don't believe it. It's like he's so encouraged by it. And he always compliments me on the fact that we do it. So it's not like one of them racist things where people are like, I can't believe black people doing it. He just really he's really encouraged by it. We talk about it. Like he says, yeah, man, my family was the same way. So I think it's important that we do it because enough people don't do it. And I want Mackenzie to grow up with a strong sense of family. I do, just like I wanted y'all to grow up with a strong sense of family. So to me, that's the core of Christmas. Don't get me wrong, I got some great gifts. Like y'all gave us a cruise. The first cruise we went on, 5 cruises ago. That was pretty cool. We about to go first taste because we probably wouldn't have done it. We probably wouldn't have done it because that was never high on my list to do, and never high on my mom's list to do. So it was a chance to get out, and stretch. The fact that we were able to do the Cayman Islands for the birthday. So I think, to me, it's always about family. And even this year, the toy store to me is also huge because one is a way for me to kind of pay homage to my parents. Because my father was a guy who, before we sit down to eat, take this plate down and so on. So I had a friend, I can say his name because he probably watches this, but it was the guy in my neighborhood who would mysteriously knock on my door at dinner time all the time. Because he knew my dad was come in and get something to eat.
Y'all ate at the same time?
Yeah, he knew. Yeah, but he knew he would time it. So like it's pitch black outside. He come to bar to basketball. Come on, man. He ain't playing no basketball.
They got lights.
We had a crate on the telephone pole. Under the light. So you shooting from dark to light. You had to stay in that vicinity of the street light.
He just better been that good at basketball.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't about basketball. I know. But it was just. But I just remember my dad doing that. I remember my mom being the same way. And I just. So I was taught at an early age to give back.
I guess I was going to ask you a question of like how do you go about as a parent, like just passing down and that mindset, throughout how materialistic, Christmas really is at this point. But like how do you kind of help the next generation, whether that's us or even Mackenzie, to stay focused on like what ultimately Christmas is?
But I think one is not just about Christmas. I think it's lifelong lessons. It's lifelong investment. It's something you did all the time. Like my dad. Again, my dad's a perfect example. We always had somebody living with us. We always had some relatives living with us, man. Stephanie and her mom lived with us, for a long time, man. So I watched Stephanie literally grow up, to high school. I had Stephanie's aunt, the older. She passed away. She lived with us. It was always somebody staying with us. And that's what my dad and mom did. They didn't have a problem opening the house. So we had a big 3-story house. So that's what they did. So I saw it all the time. We would be going somewhere. We had a station wagon, and it was very seldom was it just us. It was always some other kid in the neighborhood who magically showed up at the right time. And said, "You go ask your parents where you go," and they would jump in. We would go to Atlantic City, Wildwood, and different places. So I saw my dad do it. I saw my dad do it throughout my childhood, and I saw him do it without complaining. I saw him do it when I know he was counting pennies. He just was that kind of guy. My mom was the same way. So I grew up around it. My grandma was kind of the same way. So when you're around it all the time, it becomes a habit. It becomes easy. It becomes natural. The tricky part is how do you not become tainted when you get older? When you see people taking advantage and your dad and mom see it as we got to help somebody.
It's coming to Scrooge.
You know he coming in because he wants something. You know it. Like it was a dude who we didn't get along. He had never come out to dinner a couple of times. Like, wait a minute, we just got finished. And now it's saying we cool. You come eat. And my dad knew. You know how many basketballs I lost because my father would let somebody hold our basketball, we'd never see it again. Yeah. Don't be stingy. Like, you being stingy with my game because now I gotta wait till I get a new ball. But it's just so I learned. And for me, I think I always say we are the sum total of our environment and what we're exposed to. So that's where it came at for me. So when I got older, even when I was in college, I always wanted to give back. I never wanted to be that guy, man, who just was selfish. And so it just kind of went on and on and on. And then I always said, if I get in a position to give back to my community, I would. So God seemed fit to put me in a position to give back to the community, man. And I love it. It gets a little irritating at times because now, like I said, 85% of people in the world are selfish. And then you get people who try to take, they're taking advantage of you. But for me, the overall thing
a lot of sharks out there.
Yeah, but I think I grew up in a time when it was about a sense of community. I grew up in a time, man. The fact that I get on the call with 5 brothers every week that I've known since kindergarten and first grade, we laugh, we joke, we say I love you. That's amazing to me because that's not don't happen.
I was about to say I don't even know how many people I know from the
kindergarten. Yeah, it don't happen now, man. The fact that we grew up when it was a sister community. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We grew up when it was into belonging. Where we could go at it like cats and dogs, nobody would come around and mess with us. We went to the neighborhood to play with people. We stuck together. Mm-hmm. So that to me was kind of all. Kind of Christmas time was the time to kind of capture it all. What we learned all year long, Christmas was the time, to do those things. And I think, to me, part of it is, and Christians all over the world are going to screech when I say this. I think part of the problem is we tell kids, we such a rush to tell kids there's no Santa Claus. So we teach kids not to have an imagination.
All right, that's actually kind of like, what are your opinions? Yeah, I'm glad you share your opinion, because there are some people who are like, for your religion, and they like, oh, you can't believe in Santa Claus. You just telling them at 2 years old.
Well, they go too far because they turn it into an idol. I never idolized Santa Claus. I don't idolize the Eagles. I like watching them. I don't idolize the Sixers. So you mean every Christian walk around with a Sixers jersey or Eagles jersey? No. So I think we take stuff too far, and I think we turn it into this personal thing. Like I hear people say, "Well, my kids need to know that I'm buying this stuff." If your kid is 14 years old, and he still thinks Santa Claus is buying this stuff, then the problem is bigger than him. Right. So I'm
talking about like kids.
No, I know. I hear people say it.
So what age are you telling your kid like, "Hey, Santa Claus"?
I don't. I let them figure out. I let them figure out for themselves. It's not, if my kid. If my kid is like 13, 14 years old, he's still, come on, man. Then, we may have to have a little conversation. But I mean, to me, why can't a kid have a little imagination? And I think that's why we have kids that have grown up so fast with no imagination. They care about here and now and nothing else. And I think that's part of the problem.
That's 100%. Facts.
That's just my personal opinion.
I think I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like, we stifle youth's imagination at such an early age, and we introduce them to chaos. Honestly, like, think about this: you are in schools, they practice for, mass situations that may happen, but you can't believe it's Santa Claus. It's crazy. Like, let these kids be kids. We so far to push them into like kind of the real world, and I don't even think it's that. I think people sometimes they do like that. I think it is a little bit because they like, you need to know how much I spent for this, or how much I worked for this, or how much. Again, I don't think they're not thinking of putting them. I understand what you're saying, but to me, it's just like, I'm Santa Claus.
Yeah, they got issues. Like I'm an adult, and even before now. But I remember getting a certain age, realizing how much my mom and dad sacrificed. Realizing that when I was answering the phone, electric company was calling, or I realized the sacrifice they made. But I didn't have to know them as a kid.
But I think that also, to that point, it makes you appreciate it a little bit more as an adult. When you find out, you're like, man, my family, my parents, they was doing all of that. Like, when you kind of come to that realization of like, wow, like, they really went above and beyond to make sure that I felt this way.
And you know what? And it makes you understand gratitude.
Yes.
It makes you understand what sacrifice is as a father, who has a mom who out there and work and bust their home. It doesn't, I've never heard somebody say, I became a mass murderer because I believed in Santa Claus. I'm serving 5 to 10, and I don't. But we take it and we turn it into
35, that. They told me it wasn't real, and I lost it.
But what's ironic about the whole thing? When I hear people say that, but you got your kid watching these videos, you got your kid playing these games that As we move to the next segment, you got your kids playing these games with shoot and kill, destroy. I got kids talking about Call of Duty, can't spell their name, or talking about Grand Theft Auto, and they don't even know their phone number.
That's we can talk about that.
Yeah. So I think, and to me, and to get back to Christmas, I think Christmas to me used to be, and it's changed. It's still like that somewhat. It used to be the one time of year when everybody got along. You walk in the mall, people speak to you for no reason at all, and everybody was smiling. It used to be that one time of year, man, when everything was okay.
How do you think it's going to be this year? Like, you think it's going to be a little bit bleak?
No, I think See, that's the thing about Christmas, man. It's like in the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, when he said he took the money, they gave him money to put on something else. He took and put on Hallmark and Big Feet or something like that. And they asked him, "Well, how did you know?" And he told me, he said, because black folk won't celebrate Christmas. He said, no matter what happened, man, it could be the worst economy in the world. They're going to trade in for they're going to buy the King, they're going to buy the G.I. Joe, the Kung Fu grip, they're going to buy the Big Wheel. He said, and he's right. So
I mean, thinking about what happened with Black Friday, it was supposed to be that big strike, and then it was a big sale.
But so, and I mean, well, now they trade in the G.I. Joe, the Kung Fu grip, and Big Wheel for the big screen TV.
Yeah.
But that's we talk later. But I think as we move to the next segment about memories, about childhood memories. I mean, Christmas used to be like that. And I don't think it's going to be bleak, but I do think it's going to be a little tense now because people are looking at people of other races and other ethnicities as the corner of the eye now. And people ain't exactly walking right here trusting people now. Like I gotta be honest. I was somewhere when I was downtown for a training, and I'm downtown for a training, and so every time I got somebody behind me, I was already a North Philly kid. My antenna was like. Because I just don't trust people now. Because you have people out there who don't look like us, who try to hurt us. Yeah. Especially if they think they can do it and get away with it now. Or I'm looking around because you see, people, Hispanic people who literally, in fear because somebody can jump out and say, yeah. So I think for that it may be, but I think for the most part, there's the other side of it. Some people try to overcompensate. People like extra nice, man. Like, hey, how you doing? They don't say it, but they don't say it. It was almost like I'm not one of them. What it is, and they talk to you. But as we transition, what are some of your what would you see if you had like maybe 4 or 5
core memories?
Childhood, just anything, childhood things that you remember about Christmas?
We kind of highlighted a couple of them tonight. Definitely thinking about the grandma's Christmas. Like that was. The delicacy of it.
Dollar Store Christmas is one.
Dollar Store Christmas.
I was quite proud of that myself.
You know what though? I kind of knew the real gifts was.
It was a unique lesson. What about that about myself?
It was a unique
lesson. It was. So myself. Your mom thought it was cruel at first.
I thought it was hilarious.
But she went on, especially when Nicole tried to bounce the jack ball. Yeah. That was in my head. I'm still laughing. The ball and
jacks, but the ball and just died and hit the ground. It was like these gifts. I think it was 10th grade, maybe. I don't know. I think I might have been a sophomore in high school. And but you know what? I made the most of that back because I still got a headband. I was a hooper, so I was I got some of these things. Oh, these socks, yeah. But Nicole was sick.
Trying to smile, trying to play it off.
Yeah. I know she wasn't even trying to smile. She couldn't. Her spirit was broken. Y'all would have ruined Christmas for her for the rest of her life. She would have been a Scrooge. But no,
I think one of my fondest Christmases was the first Christmas with your mom. I got the ball upstairs on the tree. Well, that's the second Christmas. The first Christmas was really we were still dating at the time. We were engaged. I think that was a special Christmas for me. And then first Christmas we were married. I think those 2 Christmases stand out to me. And then after that, when we started having kids, because it changed the whole perspective of Christmas. Because when you're an adult and you're having Christmas with just another adult, it's pretty cool. And then when you have the kid, man, that's when the imagination comes back. That's when the excitement comes back, man. It's like, man, like the stuff we put up outside, man. Most of it, McKinsey.
Yeah.
And we do more now than we did before.
Yeah. I see.
We do more now than we did
reindeer walk. Like, what is going on?
I even gave in. We got an artificial tree.
Yes.
So
that's a core memory.
My father's rolling over in his grave.
Getting an artificial tree for the first time, and telling my family about it.
Where did I go wrong? You told us after Christmas.
I took pictures of it.
Where did my family go wrong? I'm not raising true traditional Christmas people, and I'm getting artificial trees, man.
I had bought a real tree before. I think I did buy one.
Yeah,
No, I did.
I know what I'm saying. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But then it was like getting it out and cleaning it up and all that mess. And
it took 10 days out your life.
Was it really worth it? Yeah. Nah. But now with that fake tree that I've got, it's a good one too. Just take it out, pick up the pieces, boom. Everything falls down right in the place. Your tree looks great, by the way.
That's your mind. We're a little disappointed.
Take a picture. Put it on.
This is the first year.
Let the people see it.
Devin used to come help us.
I need to hear if they know it's gonna be real big.
Devin used to come every year, man. He built on us.
You can't say that.
I can say
You can't say that.
Devin is domesticated now.
Domesticated.
He
See what happens? Listen, he found.
So that's my last Christmas tradition. Is now I got to work on because I had Mackenzie. I said, yo, Mackenzie, you help your mom do the tree? He said, no. I was like, yo, what? No. See, I gotta start. I gotta see that. So now our tradition is every other year we go away. You know,
yes.
So your mom and I have.
Now that we're grown, we form new traditions.
Nah, man,
we're past decorating the tree.
So your mom and I, our traditions now.
Let's
we
go to
open one
Orlando.
gift Christmas Eve. We exchange one gift on Christmas Eve. That's our new tradition.
See,
we exchange that one gift on
Christmas.
Christmas
So
Eve.
you wait till Christmas. You getting everything on Christmas.
Nah.
And this year it's gonna be like because the idea of I'd rather take a trip and do something like that versus and you know what? Right now it's Orlando. Maybe next year we go somewhere else.
That's the only time we come close to matching because we may do pajamas or something to be in front of the fireplace. You know, so hope you watch this, Angela. I don't do the matches.
That was my first time. So listen, that's actually a core memory. My first time matching on Christmas.
I mean, y'all match all.
No, yeah, matching PJs and so this is
only thing y'all missing is I'm with her and I'm with him
and coordinating, matching and coordinating.
Okay,
you know. And when you see us, you want to me know, oh, they together. We could be across from each other. You
like, sure can. You sure can. You they shoot like your head back. But anyway, I do. I just think that's some of my fondest Christmas memories. I think being able to buy when I finally got in position to be able to get my mom and dad, real nice stuff. That was huge to be able to not have to scrape and scrounge, man, and to say what do you want and be able to knock some of that stuff off the list, man. That was huge. That was huge. Even near the end, when I was able to help them out with gifts and financially when they retired, man, that was huge. Just being in a position to do that was amazing to me. Yeah. I think that's just for that childhood to adult memories, but also just being around our cousins because we had. Unfortunately, you met Kim, but her brothers, Kenny and Steven, man, they passed away. Listen, Kenny was my boy, man. We got together every Christmas, man. They were our first cousins. Mm-hmm. And we would just, whatever we got, we would get together, man, and play. Be their house, our house. It was always about family. It was always about family, man. And I remember my grandma, how she was getting involved. I remember my grandpa, before he passed away, my dad's dad, we would go over there. And I remember my dad's mom, I was young when she passed away, but she was shooting these banana cakes from scratch. Yeah, we had a lot of bakers in our family.
We don't got no bakers no more. Me and Nicole had a debate about that.
Family, man. It was scratch.
Controversial statement that I have. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, we don't have a lot of black bakers no more in families.
Well, not even that. A lot of people, because people don't cook. People think cooking now is
no bakers.
There's people who don't come out of a box or a can, and I don't want to be too large on that because we're on Christmas, but it's just different. But I think that's another thing. Christmas to me was always about the home cooking. I was smelling the turkey, smelling the stuff, and the food, and the preparation of it all. My mom would be, Christmas music was flashing around.
Everybody coming together.
You knew it was Christmas when you heard Donny Hathaway and Nat King Cole. When you knew those two things, man, and then my dad would always mix in with Haley Jackson.
Had duck.
Yeah, and my dad would mix in with Haley Jackson. When you heard those songs, man, you know it was Christmas, man. Then they doing James Brown. I was never James Brown. I
put that one on in the morning.
When I wake up, that was one of the most stereotypical songs, man.
Classic.
You up there doing a slop.
It's a classic, yeah. You gotta see the feet. But another core memory I just thought about is like you said, kind of meeting with the cousins and family afterwards, and everybody's like, "Oh, what you got? And I just thought about Uncle Leonard and how he used to come in like at grandma's house with like that big sack. Like there was just like literally something in there for everybody, and it was just like the anticipation of not just even seeing what he got for me, but like just seeing what everybody else got, and just I don't know. It's a lot of joy around this time of year, and just seeing that on your family, it feels good. Just to see that. And like you mentioned or said, being able to, at this point in our lives, like do things a little bit different that I feel like a little bit more core memories, like, I don't think so. Like a little bit more core memories, like sending you guys on the cruise, or, I don't know if that was necessarily for Christmas, but like Aruba.
Yeah, it was. We got it for Christmas and we went in February.
Yeah, so it's like,
we got it for Christmas.
Like, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy
your mom went to Aruba. That's Mother's Day.
Yeah, that was Mother's Day.
We went to Boston for
Boston,
yeah,
yes.
We went to Basketball Hall of Fame.
But you see, like this, I just think like, getting older, like, it's different ways to just show my appreciation and how grateful we are. And granted, it's like other times of the year that we can certainly do that. But I just feel like you said before at the top of the show, Christmas just feels like that's the time of year where it just all comes together.
But I think that's the emotional part of Christmas for me.
And going into the new year.
You also look at your family and you see how far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
You look at your family and you think, for me, I can replay almost every Christmas. In my head, I can go back and think about things that happened every Christmas. The first Christmas when your grandparents were around, and they would just make sure they would go out their way, man. Y'all would have seems like 8 Christmases.
That's how I was like, Christmas.
Yeah, we used to make the rounds, man. Drive all the way down Atlantic City, come back Germantown. Yeah, it was like, so it was. But so that's the emotional stream. But I also think Christmas was a time, man, where it should be a time of reflection, man. When you do think about your family, when you think about the relationships that you have, especially with some that you have maintained. You get married, and Aaron and Justin, and I always forget his name. Jared. Man, how long you been in high school? That's pretty cool. No, I'm just saying.
I know. I just you sit there. I'm like,
that's just pretty cool to say, look, hey, these guys are still in my life right now, man. And I didn't have to go to prison. I had to bail them out. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think Christmas is a time to celebrate all those relationships, man, because it's another year. And then and the religious aspect I'll get into. You know me, you know that.
I know.
I just think it's important, man, that especially now with all the craziness going in the world, man. We show people, love the Christmas time. I don't know Hoagie, that's a song, but yeah, I think it's a time, man. I think your mom and I think every Christmas has gotten better. Every Christmas has gotten better, man. And this one's probably gonna be the best yet.
I know that. It's about to be fun.
It's different because we'll be here and when you go from this is the thing about
getting together to eat on Christmas.
Yeah, but when you have a family, this thing about I think people understand. Each time somebody leaves, a child leaves, it changes the atmosphere and environment of the house. Mm-hmm. And when people who don't know what I'm talking about, when your kids start leaving, you'll get what I'm talking about. I don't care how many kids you got in the house. Every time, because people look like I'm crazy, but it does. You happy because you teach me independent teaching, but it does. It changes because that's the personality is not there now. And you balance your family off.
Of it like that. It's a personality that's not there.
You balance your whole family's balanced off. Like we were balanced off of 5 personalities.
Yes.
Everything was about 5 different personalities. Whether you went to the drive-in, whether you went here, it was. Then all of a sudden,
I like how you frame that because everybody's family and dynamic works like that. But it's
so when you left, it kind of changed a little bit. It's like man, and then and because y'all so different. So you try to adjust, and then Christmas gets even more important because y'all come back,
right?
And then when Nicole left, it was the same thing. Like man, and then Devin was the state 2 person, stay to himself, come home, go to his room. It was totally different. Mm-hmm. And then when Devin left, it was like a desert, man. Like, oh, man we get up at Christmas.
I'm interested to know how it was when I left. Was it quiet
in the morning? No, it's not even about me. It's just the personality. So when Devin left, it was like, it was just us. Yeah. And it was like, man, you get up for Christmas. So now instead of getting up early, we sleeping at 10 o'clock, man. We sleeping at 11 o'clock, getting up, having hot tea. And we open our gifts and take us all day because you kind of open one, and then you don't rush and do it, and then everybody else. Then now that y'all grown and y'all come and spend more time, it's different. But I mean, you'll see when you have kids, you see exactly what I'm talking about, man. The dynamic shifts, man, because. Like we got Mackenzie now.
Growing through Christmas.
So it's like I'm starting all over again. When do you like that?
And I mean, if he here, he up at 4 a.m. waiting for Santa Claus.
That's one thing he don't do, man.
You just get up. You don't get up.
Like he is probably the most even-keeled little kid I've ever seen in my entire life.
I see him.
He'll get up and get his tablet. With my tablet, he came in my room the other day, last week, because he's every Wednesday now. Because I get up before 4:30, so I can't work out because he's in there. So he must have heard me. So he came in the room and he looked across the back. What you doing? So I said, I'm sending my devotion. So he said, what's the devotion? I explained it to him. He said, you send it to yourself? I said, no.
He said it to yourself.
So he's looking around. Then he goes, I said, what you need? Where's my tablet?
Where's my tablet?
Yeah, so he's easy. He's easy, man. You feed him pizza, you feed him chicken, or chicken nuggets,
chicken.
He fine, man. Throw some windows in there once in a while.
I be trying to make him go out.
Yeah, we can get bored games up to the point. So it's different with Christmas. So and I think a lot of kids now is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking about the show last night how we went to bed early because we wanted to get up early to get our.
Yes.
Now kids, man, you know, look, man,
it's Christmas every day.
Yeah, well, 12 o'clock at night, man. Or I remember, and y'all did the same thing. You try to find your gifts, man. Every year, the church season, you can find them, man. Now these kids, man, it's just different. But when you have kids, it changes, and I think. That kind of takes us to the next platform. I think
the adults more excited than the kids.
Yeah, well, it depends on. I think in our family, yeah.
In our family,
I think because for us,
it's more adults.
But I mean, but I think for us, it's a different kind of excitement because it's a challenge of finding that next gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been doing it for a while, so it's like, okay, how do I find something I can get them that's going to stand out? It is, like before I would go to the store and just when y'all were teenagers, they like this, like that. Now you're trying to figure out the styles, and it's pretty cool, man. You're trying to
different unique styles and all that.
And then at the same time, you're trying to be fair because you don't want to spend $10,000 on one person and $10 on the next. So you're looking at, you're trying to make sure. So yeah, it's different.
Put it towards our wedding. Put it towards our wedding.
And I still get excited about because I know I'm gonna see everybody. It's like cool, man. We weren't going away. How many families we can say every other year we've been able to go with Christmas?
Yeah, I think that's, like you said, probably not something that a lot of people can do. Certainly not something that I think we take for granted and appreciate. And like we said, I think we hope that we can continue to grow, continue to do some new and different things each year, and foster some new, more exciting memories. Like Christmas, even just kind of thinking back to some of our previous years, I don't know, I think you always heavily instilled in us, like, it's bigger than and more than just the gifts. It's more than just a materialistic part to Christmas. Like it's a number of different, I think, emotional factors, that go into it. Like, whether that is kind of one, just appreciation, gratefulness, joy, love, family. Get the young one on here, like
Brady's about to go up.
Yeah, there's a thing. Christmas, what you kind of taught us or showed us over the years is that it's definitely a myriad of things.
So let me ask you a question: what's something you would like to pass down to your kids if you have Christmas? What's something that you would like to, how instill in them when they come?
I think ultimately, like giving back to people, and like that's ultimately what this is about. Like, yes, like it feels good to get things, but I think it feels just as good, if not better, to give things to people, whether that's your time, your effort, attention, like whatever you can give to someone during this time that may need it. I think like that's something that I want to be able to pass down. Family, of course, like I think like just being able to know that, this is a time for us to kind of all come together and show love and appreciation for each other.
So for me, man, I think Toy Story has become, the fact that we all show up.
Yeah.
We may be minus one this year. The domesticated one. But anyway, I gotta stop saying that.
He won't be here, right?
Yeah, nah.
Where he going? All right,
but I think to me, and that's why I was talking to your mom about this last week. I said I would love for y'all to keep Toy Story going.
No, I want to.
I would love for y'all to keep Toy. I would love to like even maybe next year just start taking a backseat. But to me, I think that's replacing because I look at the picture with Nicole and Devin when we all there, Mackenzie, man. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to say that that's something we do as a family.
And I would love to keep that going.
That's something we do as a family, man.
Yes.
Brother man getting tired, man. You know what? We'll talk about the details, but I think to me, I would love to pass that on and have that keep going. Because again, I do it with my mom, my dad, man, and it represents us. I think it's something that's associated with our family.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I have people talk about the Pender family, the Penders, it's just it's associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to have it keep going. Like this year, we're going to give every family that registers going to get a basket of food.
That's dope.
Yeah, so we get a basket of food as well.
The registration open? When did that start?
It's open. It's already open, man. So we can link. I'm trying to limit it because I don't want to get bombarded because I know the kind of time we're in.
Mm-hmm.
But I can share a link.
We have it. So much stuff like sometimes.
Yeah, we do. But see, the hardest part about it is, and that's why you got to get involved in the plan, is try to balance it so you have stuff for the people that come at the end.
Yeah.
They're not picking over garbage.
Like you said, the shifts and putting certain things out, kind of like that store. Some of that stuff go in the back.
Well, it's cool because we're putting you in charge of that this year. That's going to work out well.
Cool. Come see me.
Yeah. No, I just think
muscle.
But again, I just think it's family, man. I think it's pretty. That's something I would love to keep going. Somebody hit me up the other day and said, okay, they will give me a couple of bites. So okay, I got to figure, and every year I'm trying to figure out every aspect of it. I would love to, starting this year, that's because we got a call tomorrow. Zoom by 7 tomorrow. And we're going to talk about roles. Who's going to be gift wrapping, who's going to prayer table, who's going to lead the shoppers. Your mom always sits at this administration table in the front, but that's something that I want us to keep doing. Like Mackenzie gets a chance to come out, man. And it was pretty cool because I got to give a shout out to Renee and her foundation. Unfortunately, I'm going to name her foundation. They made a donation.
We'll find that out next time.
They made a donation and she's coming out. She'll be there. I'm going to set up a table for us so we can record a little bit.
Fan Bending's going to be in attendance too.
Yeah, she's going to be there. Put them on the table. I'm going to set up a table and we're going to record people so we can do, we can do the show anytime.
Yeah.
We're going to court for. We're going to set up a segment and talk to people. But so I do want to give a shout out to them. It's pretty cool. Ed came down and brought his kids last year.
I think we always have a good time. Was that last year or the year before?
Last year.
Angela's her
year before. Yeah. Year before. So I'm saying, and like it's pretty cool. Like this Angela, when she was excited about the possibility of going shopping. We're picking up steam, man. No, I just think as a family, and she's a part of the family. It's pretty cool that people are interested, man. Nobody's like, oh, or why are you doing that? Because I get enough of that, man. People trying to get over weekends. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But I think that to me, Christmas has become Toy Story, just giving back to people, man. Just seeing the smiles on people's faces. And every year, for every horror story, I got 10 feel-good. I never forget the last 2 years, people came up to me and said, what can I give you? I said, no, it's free. They said, no, you don't understand. Especially last year, lady was crying, man. She said, I got $20 left. She said, I want to give you this $20. I said, this is your last one. She said, you don't understand. You filled up this bag for me. Said, my grandkids are going to have Christmas. I know I can leave you in good conscience without giving you anything. So, stuff like that makes you feel good. Yeah. Because you get a lot of folk, they ain't getting you nothing. Who've been coming every year for 15 years, man, and they don't donate a buck. They don't say, here's $5 for robbing people, man. But you do get people like that. I remember I had a lady who had been recently divorced, and he took everything. And she was trying to figure out how she was going to have Christmas. And she was out in the county, and she came for 2 years in a row. And I just remember a nice little thank you, email she sent me, just full of gratitude. And so I said, those stories right there want to outlive us.
Yeah.
Because she'll remember that, in a time where nobody was nice to her, that we were kind to her.
Yeah. Or even the idea like you can pay it forward, like you take that energy and you put that back out into the world. Like just because we probably did that when nobody else could, maybe she feels like now she can do that to somebody else.
Well, think about it. It's me. And that's why I said Christmas is kind of like a year-round training. When I was at UFC, you guys volunteered. I didn't make y'all do it. Y'all volunteered. When I did hike, you guys came out and worked. You participated in that. There was other things you might have chosen to do that something. So I think it's. I'm not gonna say it's the end of the thing. I think Christmas can be the beginning, it can be the middle, whatever it is. But I think it's something that you build up to because if you're kind, you're gonna be kind year round. Yeah. It's just more of an opportunity to put on display. And I think that's what Toy Store does. It puts it on display, man. Like, somebody hit me up, I don't know. And they say, you got to register that. So I send me emails, so I send her a link. So I just think, and she rewarded me because I said, okay, please don't share the link. Because I don't know if you share the link, because you got to put a referral application. I know the names of people I gave it to. So I do got car preferences, but just to be able to do that, to see families come in there, man, like because I run after school program. To see families come in there who to an after school program and they struggle. There's a little girl that came last year, man, and I gave her an official price computer. And every time I see it, I still use it. I still use it. I was letting light up the picture. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. And as an adult, man, you got to figure, I'm in the last quarter of my life, man. So it comes down to, what are you going to be remembered for? And I think for y'all too, every family we touch and talk to, they're going to remember that, man. Somebody gave me something, they didn't charge me for me. I had to sign my life away, didn't have to show ID, didn't have to get social security number, man, didn't have to join anything. They just hooked us up. And the fact that, I get to do it with your mom, I get to do it with you, Nicole, and Devin, and Mackenzie. It couldn't be any sweeter for me. It's a long day. And I was telling somebody the other day, they was like, man, this is a lot of hard work. I said, yeah, it's a lot of hard work. And that's why I said, hopefully this year, like, I'll put you in a role and put, roles. Because my thing is, starting next year, maybe I'll take over. Yeah. I'll still be around. Like, I'll still help in the background with fundraising and things like that. But it's a task, man.
Fan vending is a top vending source in the area. It's going to be easy. Let's get it.
It's a task, man. But,
heard it first.
Yeah, so I think for me, and I think Christmas, man, is a large part of what I do because a lot of memories for me, man, are centered around Christmas. The huge Christmas dinners, man, was like 10 of us around the table, man, because us, my aunts and uncle, they would come over, man, and, it was a bunch of us in there, man. We in 2 rooms, and back then they had a kids' table. They don't do that now.
The kids' table.
Yeah, because
I remember that.
Oh, yeah,
because we used to have that.
We had the kids table, man. Yeah,
in the kitchen and everybody else in the dining room.
Laughing and joking and y'all sitting there, yeah. It's 200 degrees, yeah.
The kids' table. Now kids can sit where they want. What's up?
But they'd be like, Chris, yo, bring me something to drink.
We need to bring that back.
And I think, especially now, I think Christmas is a time, man, to set the tone for the rest of the year. Is be nice to somebody for no reason at all. But like, I'm excited that we're going to give away baskets of food, man. It may not seem like much to people, but
it's a lot right now.
Family's going to get a basket of food.
People need that food.
Well, if I had time, I would do the food distribution because the person has it's trying to get. I just don't have time. I try to get other people to do it, and they don't want to do it consistently.
It's very tough.
But it is.
It's tough to do.
But I think every quarter I'm going to do a food giveaway.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got to figure out some kind of way to tie it into something else.
I think it'll be something that.
But I definitely want to be a little more community-minded. It's the name, families and communities on the move. I just think, a community is only going to be as strong as its family.
Yes.
And it's them working together, man, it's going to make real change. So for me, Christmas, man, it's like, I get really excited about it, It's emotionally draining sometimes, man.
I mean, all the other stuff that comes with Christmas sometimes, but
like tomorrow, we gonna start shopping tomorrow, man. Your mom gets
good luck.
Your mom gets off early. I gotta go start shopping for the toys.
I try. Wait, y'all doing that tomorrow?
Yeah, we decided that I was gonna.
What time?
It's probably gonna be late afternoon.
All right, well, let me know.
Because I got the call. We're gonna definitely, because we got a Zoom call set. It's only about 30 minutes, and then we definitely gonna try to hit it hard next Thursday.
Okay, because I have some time.
Because I got a bunch of stuff to do. But yeah, I just think, Christmas is a time, man, to be with family, to be with friends, man, to celebrate, man. And I never forget the religious aspect of it. I know Jesus is the reason for the season. So if somebody out there say, he's supposed to be religious. First of all, I'm not religious, I'm a Christian. I explained to somebody that most religious people have never accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Let me give you a quick education real quick when you tell me you're religious. You're still going to hell.
Yeah,
I'm just saying because you have not accepted Jesus Christ. So don't. I'm saying so don't be criticizing me talking because you're religious and no. If you're not accepted, the Bible says there's only one way. That's why for all these religious people out here who want to be sanctimonious and tell you about stuff. And I'm telling you, somebody believing in Santa Claus. Show me an axe murder that became. I just let people have an imagination.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that.
So he believes in the Easter Bunny. So he believes in the Tooth Fairy. You too cheap to put a couple bucks under the pillow. So you want to tell me?
Give him a quarter.
Let him dream. That's why these kids don't dream. I was talking to a bunch of kids yesterday, and I said, okay. No, this morning I was talking to a bunch of kids, and so my question is, now I'm dealing with how they see themselves. So I asked them, I said, tell me 3 things you like about yourself and 3 things you don't like about yourself. They had no problem with 3 things they don't like about it. They struggle to tell me 3 things they like about themselves. And that's the generation that we're dealing with. You know, you a senior in high school and it's December, in which you don't know what you want to do. You're not thinking about the future because they don't dream, man. I don't know. Come on, because we took that away from them.
Yeah.
We any imagination they had. Like I was talking to somebody that, like, come on, man, you attacking Scarface in Disney. You got nothing else to do. But sit here and look at a movie and figure out who you think is this and that, and then it's a movie. If you don't like it, don't go. Like I don't like Friday the 13th, so I never went to see it.
People do be reading.
Yeah.
People too smart now.
But you killing kids, man. Let a kid be a kid.
Everything.
But I'm gonna tell you something. What I find is funny about it, and not challenging anybody to this. Yeah, but if you look, Tom and Jerry was violent.
Yeah.
The Roadrunner and the Wild Coyote, they were violent.
Mm-hmm.
The Three Stooges, they were violent.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, now all of a sudden, no. So I just think it goes back to kids to dream, man. Teach them that it's okay to have an imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Teach them okay, man. It's okay to see things outside the box. People who invent stuff, they dreamers. Yeah, they not living stuff off of what they see in front of them.
Nope. They're not scared to go against the status quo.
No. When I was a sophomore in college, I had this black professor, and we went in the first day of class in psychology, and it was a block of wood on the stage. She said, "What is it?" Everybody named all this stuff. Come back. We had it twice a week. Come back, same thing. So we came back on Monday. On the following Monday, and on Monday and Wednesday, she said, "What is it?" Everybody gave up. She said, "This would represent your imagination. It's a chair, it's a pencil, it's a toothpick, it's a house, anything that you can make out of wood." And I never forgot that. So is that things are not always the way you see things.
See past
those
things.
Man. But those are people who are successful.
See something greater.
Yeah.
Use this for something else.
The person who says, "Well, my grandpa was poor, so I'm going to be poor." Nah. You gotta see past your current set of circumstances. And I think I'm not saying just because of Santa Claus, but when you start taking away kids' imagination early, what can they imagine? I would rather my kid believe in Santa Claus than have an imaginary friend. No, I'm just saying, and some kids have it, but that would scare me.
It is kind of interesting. I did see something online the other day about how it's like we kind of rewiring kids and kind of stifling them in so many ways. Like, and I just related to just video games are different now. Like back in the day when a core memory is having that Nintendo and having the Sega. I remember getting those things and having that. But like they were just saying, like those games back in the day where you fail, it's over. You start over.
Well, we laugh because before that it was Atari, and Atari just had the 2 paddles and the ball going back and forth.
And it's over.
And then they had ColecoVision, which you don't remember. ColecoVision, you played football, you can catch it with your feet. All you had to do was throw it near the person. But it was the same thing. When you played those games, you got it.
Or you had to figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? Like Zelda and all these, like you had to beat it.
But now it was like colorful deaths.
Yeah.
Now it needs nothing to
or
they get cut off blood gushing out.
Mackenzie watches a video on how to play the game that he's playing.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting the answers to the test. So you're not even putting in the thought and effort to
but that's why
do it. Then you take it.
But I think, as we just got way off of Christmas.
No, it had to do with Christmas. It's the idea of rewiring these kids.
Fast, man.
Rewiring these kids. They just got a different mindset now,
We thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Above Average Black Men. These things go faster and faster.
This is the quickest I've ever seen him shut it down. That's because he's trying to get this kid to sleep here. But thank you guys. I'm gonna have to ask him to come more often. Go to sleep. But thank you. Appreciate you guys. Tune in next time. Above Average Black Men. Like, follow, share, subscribe.
Here you go.
Are you asleep?